Welcome everybody to this webinar where we will discuss Crunchfish report for the second quarter of 2020. I'm sitting here across from Joachim Samuelsson, CEO of Crunchfish, and we also have IR and Marketing Manager Ulf Samuelsson with us. Who will be the moderator today is Alf Riple, working at Västra Hamnen Corporate Finance, and we have the honor to host this as we cover your company with our commissioned research. I also have with me my colleague Pascal Detwiller from Västra Hamnen. So hello everybody. You published a report this morning and also a film that informs us about what's going on in the company, and you don't have any groundbreaking news in it, but we get the impression that things are moving forward. There's one thing though that I noticed that I think may be more significant than it seems to the lay reader. If you don't know data science, it's hard to understand exactly what it's all about. But I'm thinking about the deal that you have entered into with VKey. Sounds like VKey, but it's VKey from Singapore. Can you explain a little bit about that deal and how significant that is to actually realizing offline payments with the Crunchfish solution?
Yes, it is very important in order to have a scalable solution for us that we come with a whole package when we also pull VKey's secure element into the deal. It is about creating something new in the market, a secure way of paying offline. Where all sort of payment systems are always geared towards that. It is an online transaction that you go online to check a bank account somewhere to see if you have sufficient balance. Now we want to create an opportunity to do that in a complete offline mode. Neither the customer nor the merchant is online, and to do that. We need an extra level of security, and that is what is called a secure element. And VKey is a company who have developed a secure element in software. I think they are, world class in that. That they have done the first secure element in software in the world, and I think they have recently also got a level of security which is sort of banking grade security. It's called Common Criteria 3+, which is a sort of technical term for that you are at the very highest level. Typically, a secure element is sitting on the chip, on the hardware, but they have done it in software, and that means that we can ship that solution together with our proxy link. Our proxy link is what connects the customer to the merchant, but within the app there is sort of a piece of software that keeps encryption keys. We keeping the offline balance and all the transaction logs, because they need to be extremely secure. When we conceived the whole idea of an offline paying mode, we hadn't solved this problem, and we were thinking that payment service providers would need to solve it themselves. But having identified this company VKey, we understood that we could now have a whole solution, the whole package for a payment service provider. So now I think we have a solution which, when we implement this at one party, we get that going, then other can request the same solution without having to do solving all the security aspect themselves. We come with that aspect of the solution.
So I mean, just to put it down to earth so that even an idiot like me can understand it. If you go to Google Pay and you say to them, we have the software for offline payments, and we have this partner here who can solve the identification and the encryption of the thing in the user's mobile. You can have both of these items, and then we have assured that they work together. Is that?
Yeah, you can see it that way. Yeah, they secure that the transaction, which is just a local transaction, is end-to-end encrypted, and that all the data is secure in transit between the merchant and the customer and the merchant. But also they secure also that the data which is stored in the app, which is sort of sensitive information like how much money can you spend offline, and also all the transaction logs for everything you have done, both from the customer side and as well as the merchant side. That needs to be highly secured, that information, and that piece of the puzzle is what Viki brings to the table here.
And also, again, to put it plainly, before you had this deal, you could offer the payment service, but not the security service.
Yes, we relied on that. The payment service would have to solve that themselves.
Exactly.
But with Viki, now we have, in partnership with them, we can deliver the full offline paying solution. Yeah, we didn't have that before.
Would it be fair to say that this makes it a lot easier to strike deals in offline payments?
Yeah, because they don't have to. Because I think this is a new thing. The digital payments is an online system where you have nodes here, your own app, but you always talk online. And this is something that everybody would have to be concerned about. Do we get enough security here? And to implement that themselves, I think I think there will be some payment services that could do this themselves, but for sure, if we come with this part, which is a crucial part, the security aspect of those offline payments, then it will be much easier to replicate this solution to multiple players. Absolutely.
We think this is extremely interesting because we think that offline payments is a unique application for Crunchfish, and one that is very important for our assessment and our research at the company. So we think this it's hard to say at this stage how important this is going to be, but looking forward, we might or rather after some time has passed, maybe we'll look back and say this was the deal that opened up. Is that a
well? Yeah, I do think we are very unique with this. I think this is and the way we have thought of this whole solution. We have some patent pending here, it is an area of interest. I think it was early August. The Reserve Bank of India. This is the Central Bank of India. They just announced that they recognize that a lot of payments, there's a lot of hassle with the digital payments because of your online connections and so on. So they would like to see pilots for offline payments. So this is sort of, it's not something a strange idea of ours, and this is sort of is recognized as a problem that if this is solved, then we can enable more payments. So in India, which is where you have an unstable, say, internet environment, that will become useful. But it was interesting as well, and that's the linkage here. If we take Sweden, where we have a more stable internet situation, but we have a systemic risk in Sweden that what if Bank ID, the way we authorize, what if that service is down? All of a sudden, no Swish payments can be done in the whole country. What if Swish goes down with their server, which they do, maybe once every 3rd month or so, they go down for a few hours, or maybe Swedbank with all their Swish paying customers there. These systemic risks that, because it crashes sort of payments for an entire country. If you would have an offline balance sitting locally and you can still pay with your mobile phones, this is also important for a country like us. And that's why we have had this discussion with the Swedish Central Bank as well, because they are interested to securing a more stable payment environment. We also talked to Svensk Handel, which is sort of the merchants organization of Sweden, and they see risks with the mobile payments now when cash is disappearing. How can you secure that 24/7 you should always be able to pay? And they see merits of that. This kind of offline transaction facility that we provide with this kind of solution is of importance for a country, even if internet is stable. It could be that the services online, like banking, identification, or the payment service itself, if that goes down, huge problems in the whole country. And we need to build a way around that.
And how far have you come with this cooperation with the VK? Are you ready to deliver tomorrow if a payment service?
No, right now we are in a technical validation. You know, we announced this sort of, it was mid-July,
yes.
but they have already done what we asked them to do. They've been very quick on their side and very responsive. They have done the sort of the communication layer between the secure element and the app itself, because secure element is something that it lives as a trusted application that can't really be tampered with inside an app. And the communication between that environment and the app, they have delivered that API already to us. And right now what we are doing is to write the trusted application that takes care of the communication of that we can have a transaction logs there, that we can sort of have a balance, how much you can spend. That is what we are building right now. And I think we will have a first sort of technical validation of that already next week. So we are, but that is not then for delivery next week to a customer, but we are verifying that their secure element works in combination with our proxy link service. And that's what we are putting together sort of in this sprint that we're working with right now. And
you and VK, you have a co-selling agreement, so you can sell into each other's markets as well. And they are in what markets again?
They have been working sort of form digital payments and then sort of banking, and they are in the Southeast Asian countries. They have customers in you know, in Thailand, in Philippines, and in Indonesia, in Malaysia, in Singapore. So the ASEAN countries, the Southeast Asian countries.
And will you be actively pursuing those markets, or did you rely on them to
well, they will take lead there, I think, because they already have, and it might be that they will take the first customer for offline wallet could come via them, because they already have a customer relation with some of them. They already have their solution, and they would talk to them about how about then also having an offline wallet facility. So that could come via them. But we have also now the interest from India, from the Reserve Bank of India, talking about that we want to see this kind of solutions, and that puts the Indian payment community a little bit, okay, interesting, how can we solve that? And we sort of have a package for it, which is so it could come from us in India, I would say, or it could come via Viki in some of their countries.
Okay, great. I would just say to all of you who are watching this that you can also write questions in your controls that you have for this meeting software. You can write a question. If you don't see the questions heading, maybe you need to click on the red arrow so it expands your controls, and there is a field where you can write your questions, and it can relate to anything that we discuss in this. And we will read out the question, and we will let Joachim also. Continuing on India, what's the situation there now? They have released a little bit on their lockdowns. Is it possible to do business there now and get meetings and things like that?
Yes, I can't travel there though. You know, there is no, so the country is still in, it's before they had sort of 3-4 months in a complete quarantine. You were allowed out once a week, offices were closed, only sort of essential services were open in the entire country. So the whole Q2 was sort of really in a weird situation where the whole country was down. Now it's in a situation where the COVID-19 is spreading in the country. We remember how we had it, that we were a little bit, how much will it go up when it was spreading more and more? India is getting that now because they were in a quarantine. They had less spreading of the disease, but they're getting it now instead. So unfortunately, India is sort of, people are a bit scared using retail payments. They don't want to pay with cash, and people, what they do is they buy online. So the whole e-commerce is just booming in the country because everybody, so people are, it's sort of in, still it's getting better. It's not in complete at the mandatory lockdown, but the climate is that retail is sort of still on a not up to where it was.
But how about yourselves and your meetings with your prospective customers? Can you have meetings online?
We can have, online we have meetings.
Okay.
When we had that also during the whole lockdown situation.
Yeah.
But then it was kind of weird because we were having meetings when they were at home all the time. Now when we have meetings, we're having online meetings with them, and they are in the office.
Okay.
So that has changed.
Yeah.
And now our people in India, they can also go and visit. Although that they a lot of people still work from home a little bit, so it's not sort of fully running as it used to.
Okay.
There, certainly now when the COVID-19 is spreading more and more.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it isn't like they decided we don't do any investments right now. They are in business mode, so to speak.
They are in business mode, but I think one thing we see is a little bit that the prioritization is on e-commerce. I see a little bit it's e-commerce where you buy online is what everybody wants to offer the best kind of service for, because that's what's booming right now. Mm-hmm. So I see a little bit that we are sort of our services is for sort of in-store shopping. It's sort of retail shopping. Yeah. But the focus for a lot of our the people we talk to is that it's online. We have to be at our best. And another thing that a lot of people are working on is credit solutions. Okay. In order to help people, because this is hard times, and in order for people to get by, people could have credit loans. Yeah. So a lot of these payment service providers, they work hard also to have good terms for offering credit solutions. So we are a little bit here as I sense that the offline the in-store payments, retail payments is sort of it's certainly still there, but it's the focus is sort of a little bit now on online and helping people to get credit. Okay. So that's their priorities are somewhat not. We may not be top of mind, but still they could still prepare for it. We want to get into a deal where implement our sort of technology, and then we will be ready then to start piloting in the market. So it's not that we can't get to that, but it is in a way in competition with other things they want to do at the moment. Yeah.
Talking of pilots, you have entered into a deal in Sweden with Extenda Retail. Can you tell us a little bit about what kind of an actor that is in the market? What kind of stores are they in? Well,
yeah, Extenda is that's the biggest sort of cash register player in the Nordics. Okay. They are a merger of Visma Retail and Extenda. There were two players before, which were the two biggest ones, but they are now merged into Extenda Retail. Okay. One of their cash register lines called RS POS, which has about 11,000 installations. This is the one that we have, they have integrated our Blipit service into that. Okay. So we are actually heading to do training of all their salespeople next week. Okay. And we also gonna sort of sign off for the implementation they have done also now during July, August to sort of have it's now plug and play. So any merchant that has RS POS would just have to plug in the Blipit app terminal, and then they can pay with Swish.
Okay. And this is grocery stores?
It's sort of they have Coop is one that they have, but there's also retailers like they have Plantagen, they have Apoteket Hjärtat, sort of a pharmacy. They also have ST1, which is sort of a petrol pumps. So they have it's a variety of sort of retailers, not just groceries. Extenda Retail, they have another platform called the ER POS, which is a Java-based POS. This is one that is the ICA has it, Axfood has it, H&M, H&M, as well as Systembolaget, and that's another post which has more installation than RS post that we have already discussed, and we have the terms for also integrating that, but that hasn't started yet. We have to do a little bit of work ourselves because we have to port our software to run on a Java-based cash register. This is Windows-based that we are on now, but ERPOS is on Java.
And is the Riple terminal, is it already in production somewhere? I mean, is it out at the
We've done
somewhere?
The cash registers that we have integrated with, and we have been again, Corona hit there, as many here in the market, but we had Tixter, and they are an event company, and they have some restaurants, and have been tried at some restaurants, but their main focus is for events. You know, they have Liseberg and they have a lot of hockey arenas, and they had before the Corona hit us, they had 10 pilots lined up, people who wanted to have this kind of solution. But then, you know, there haven't been any events. We just talked to them this week, and they said that normally they are out 20, 30 events during the summer to discuss with them, and they help them with the whole sort of ticketing solution and payment solution. But this year, nothing. And then we have Ege Retail as well, and they're in fashion, and that's also an industry which has been hit hard. Fashion is sort of down, I don't know, 20% maybe, and that means a lot of these retailers are suffering, which means that Ege Retail, they are in discussion and not really right now for, oh, hey, do you want to add the Blippy terminal? They're not in that mode right now. They are rather in reconstruction mode. So I think the two first integration we've done, we've been hit by the Corona, that Corona is sort of delaying in a way these cash registers markets. Really, they are.
How soon do you think RS or extended retail have actual physical terminals out at the stores? When do you think we can see
we hope to start doing sort of pilots. We have already started a dialogue with the CEOs of some of these big retailers, and we hope now to get to that they would agree to start doing pilots. So that could be, I think the earliest would be September, but otherwise it would be, we think October. I think the solution is ready to go. I'm sure they would already have Swish agreements, so this would just be to set it up, and they could sort of start to have the Swish payments in a more simple way using the Blippy Tap terminal.
Sounds good. I'm switching now totally to your gesture business. You said in the film that you released this morning that it has been a more inwardly focused quarter for them, where they have focused on developing the algorithm that reads the hand gestures, and they have not been that much out chasing new deals. How long do you expect this process to continue? When will they just go out and look for deals again?
Yeah. It's been actually quite great for the team to have this sort of quiet period in a way, and we've put out something now where we we put it as a picture in the report that it's a skeleton model. We follow it's for two hands. We can follow 21 points in both hands and know exactly where they are, and that is becomes that you can really grab things, virtual objects and so on. So it becomes sort of a necessity to really get the whole feel to be feel very real. We are ourselves impressed by the performance that we can achieve with just using the computing power of a mobile phone. This is something that we will release it as a demo app. We'll do a film of it as well, release it I think already if not in August, so early September. And with that we have really gone to a new level of functionality that we are starting the engagement and talking to big platform companies that hey, look at what we've done, because we think we are second to none in terms of this kind of technology. Being able to do what we do with limiting computing power is, we think is impressive. So these companies, because what we in a way are waiting for, and we are getting closer every day to that, is when consumer glasses, AR glasses is coming, because that's the big market. And I think we sit with one important piece of the puzzle in order to have very efficient AR gesture control. And I think they wanted to have that realistic feel to it, and that's what we have taken now the product to that level, and that's what we want to show, and that's what we want to talk about in these discussions.
I'm thinking of a different area, maybe where you probably don't need that sophisticated a model, but I'm thinking during the COVID-19 pandemic, people are a bit more shy about touching info screens in the public domain. Have you seen any interest for people who?
Yeah, we have got some odd requests here and there that if they do have a sort of a camera as well that you have in a tablet, for instance, then that's something we have done for years in a way. We don't need this latest sophisticated technology for that, but there has been some interest for that, but it hasn't been any major sort of breakthrough for us that we have seen yet.
And would you pursue that market, or would that be a little bit too low tech for you?
Well, we are in discussing a little bit in India, because that would have the volume for this. But we're not driving hard for this. We are rather doing the high end here with this new skeleton model and looking for the AR market rather than the sort of touchless or contactless opportunity. That is certainly there, but the team is sort of development-wise, at least, very focused on rather the having the skeleton model for AR. But we do get requests, people who are contacting us that they would like to use our technology, and it's certainly there, but it's sort of not major volume in that market for us.
I just want to remind everybody again that you can write questions if you have any. We are getting close to the end of this session, so please write fast if you have a question for Joachim. In general, looking at the company, your staffing and your investment level going forward, are you where you expect to be, or do you expect to scale up investments in research or in personnel or anything? What's your outlook?
We just did one addition of we added this week actually a fifth resource in India, and that is again in business development. It's a senior level person that has a lot of senior level years within payments for some of the major sort of payment bodies in India, and because I think what we need to do is to push some of all these deals in India, particularly that we're working on, just across the finish line. We are, the interest is there, and we are in contact with many of these major players. We just want them to just take the take that step and saying that we want to go ahead. We had a fantastic call just last week on Friday, where the head of payments of the biggest player just said, I just love your solution. We need this, because they were sort of saying that we have this connectivity problem. I myself cannot pay in my neighborhood, and I can just imagine how it is if you're not in a wealthy neighborhood of India. I want this for myself. I want this for my company. And if that enthusiasm could just turn to that, she will take the decision that let's go ahead. Then we are then in business. Right now, I just feel where we're in a strange situation, certainly with India, and I think given that they were in a quarantine, given that they are in some sort of still in a strange times with the COVID situation. But I think if we just could push some of these now across the line, we would be in a state where we would be thinking of expanding. But right now, I think we are the team we have, and so there's no expansion plan that we need to do. But we just have to get sales now to get going. But we are, conversations are good. It's just that we haven't just pushed it across the finish line, and that's what a lot of the focus is in the company right now to do.
Great. I have just received just one question, which I can answer myself. The question is whether this seminar will be available on YouTube later on. And yes, you will put it on your YouTube channel as soon as possible after we finish here.
Yeah.
Great. So thanks very much.
Thank you.
This has been educational. So I hope to see you again in a quarter or so.
Yeah. Thank you, Alf.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pascal.
Thank you.
Thank you.